Welcome to Soul Sparked Tarot. I'm your host, Mr. Renew, and today we got a check-in message just for you. I feel like this is kind of like a love message to yourself, so let's check in. Let's see what's going on. Here's the yap session. So if you don't want to listen to the no, I'll put it in. I'll put it in. So I've been going and coming into a lot of epiphanies over the last couple of hours, and that's from last night's reading to this morning. And in these hours, it's been pretty cool to realize how I've been getting justification. This goes right into the energy of last night, which was the Four Swords and the Fool card. And we were talking about how when we got the clarification, it gave us an understanding of when things came back around. And it's not the things coming back around awareness, not our present moment. We're looking at other present moments in time at different points. Meaning, there are other times where we can't be presently conscious because we weren't presently conscious then. You can't go back in time and change the time. You're just an observer, and if you were observing the present moment well enough, then you were able to feel those emotions again. So if something puts you in that state, you got to understand that that state of being is what you are being at any point in time. And you just like with the thoughts that you weren't present on, you can't change those emotions. You can't change them. But because you can observe them and feel them, you gotta change how you observe how you feel about the situations that you see. Change how you feel about the situations that you see. You gotta change. But you gotta change about the situation, but you gotta change about the situation that you can see, and you gotta change about the situation that you can feel. I'm saying it so slowly with different tones, different pauses, different frequencies, so people can really feel and see. You're doing nothing but hearing me though. That's the key. You are sensing. The words that I'm giving to you and I'm trying to use to explain is allowing you to sense the see and sense the thought. But it's just you hearing my thoughts onto you. So if you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, that means you can understand my frequency too. Let's get this energy so we can see. That card really wanted to come. Six of Pentacles. So this is perfect. This is the foundation of giving, right? We got this is you wanting to go volunteer. This is you wanting to go and do things like give to the community, give back. For me, this is understanding how you would give in the past, and then in the present moment, you would already be balancing your own scale. There's something about how we are looking at old ways of balancing the scales and giving. All right. So I was already getting the understanding of trying to heal from the past, but knowing you are healed from the past. So that means it's up to the you to decide when these things pop up of old, how are you going to balance your scale and give? The reason why I'm thinking of the old is because you're present now. And so, because you're present now, that means you're a makeup of all other present moments. But if you have been rocking with me, you know I've been telling you that you need to like cast judgment on those energies, call them back, recast them, and then rebrand them. And then the ones that don't want to be rebranded or cast and like just can't be fired, like they just making a ruckus, hunt their ass down and eradicate those demons. Change how you view them. Make a judgment call. You got the intelligence, you got the knowledge, you got the information, you got everything you need. So the idea is, what will set me free? And what will set me free to build in more present moments, or at least view the moments that aren't really positive and add a few of them to the positive side. It's not about taking the whole thing. It's not about giving everything. You are balanced with what you can share. You are aware of your light and where you shine. You are the hermit looking down. I'm getting like an example of me having conversations at this mixer, and there was like I saw young arrogance, a lot of young and youthful arrogance, and it was funny because all it was running on was like hope. It wasn't that much work put in, but they're consistent. These are kids in the classroom who realize that if they just copy what the teacher is doing, then school is easy. So these are kids who know how to take notes really well, but they really won't pay attention. It's not the kids who are smart enough to hear and see it, and then they can figure out their own way and system in their mind, and then they've learned it, and they don't ever take notes. They're operating in the same way, but one is looking at themselves first, the kid who doesn't want to take notes, and the other one is looking externally first, the kid who takes great notes. But the person who takes great notes doesn't study them. So essentially, it's just how one wants to write down the information. That is the frequency that one resides within. As we're entering into this world and as we're interacting with different energies, you're going to need to be protecting your energy. You're going to need to be balanced in what you give, which is the protection of your energy. A lot of people don't give the how-tos. They say a lot of shit, which is why when I bring out the math, the paper, a lot of people don't want to hear it or see it, or sometimes people aren't even on the readings long enough to get to that point. But we're here. That point is available. And just like the reason why I use education, we've all been there. But we've all been through a lot of other things that puts us into a stingy state of, you know what, I'm going to hold my energy back. This is the Four of Pentacles. That's an action of things that people aren't going to get access to. I'm stingy with these, so that means I can balance two. But if I got two things, I still gotta like two pizzas, I can still divide those two pizzas up. And so those two pizzas will change things. And guess what? Of those two pizzas who are changing things, you gotta realize that maybe I got three slices over here, three slices over there. You might get a slice of a slice. We all gotta share. But you sharing with yourself, that is the real key. Being able to share with you, being able to go back and give some more positive energies to those feelings. Maybe you can feel brighter about terrible old shit from the past. The whole point is you're just giving a flyer. What happens when this person gives you a flyer or a card, on the street? You look at it, drop that shit, or put it in your pocket, throw it in the trash. There's only certain things you can do with the information that is available. So we got to learn how we can alter that information, because we can build alterations upon that. Everything has its own sequence, even though it starts being built from one of these three nodal points. This is, in reality, this is what is known as a neutrino. But the action of building over time, because we're in three dimensions, is to realize that that is oscillation. So neutrino oscillation is what we call a color charge state. I like for you to understand this color charge state as a position and point in space and time that doesn't change. In other words, this is your memory. As you remembering the things that you have remembered or not, you got to understand that this general aspect of memory, call it ocean, top of the ocean, the bottom of the ocean, it's just two separate areas within one thing. I got a pair of shoes. I got one left shoe, one right shoe. This here is the most important part. We have to reconcile those last two pizzas into something together. We got to take this right shoe and this left shoe and do something by putting them together. We're looking at making something match in a new way. So, yes, I got this right shoe, Air Force One. Yes, I got this left shoe, Air Force One. But what matches them to a pair? They're both size 10. They're both for my baby. The reason why the size comes first is because can I have a white and black Air Force One and then a black and white Air Force One? Can I have those two different colors and those combinations? I could. And I still would need, in order to make them a pair, to put the right size together. That is the Six of Pentacles. That's you giving the right amounts to things. That's you putting boundaries that keep you balanced and then other people balanced, or maybe they want more, but it's not your responsibility. That's not what you're jumping into. It's not what you are, that's outside of your boundary space. The reason why I want to say that is you wouldn't teach a kid quantum physics the same way that you would another kid if they had two different grade levels. Sometimes, even in the same grade level, you got to teach quantum physics two different ways to the kids in the same grade level. The reason why we're looking at both is one is still closer to the other. Imagine teaching two high school kids, right, versus teaching a high school kid and then a professional who's been doing it for 25 years. Like, you're going to have a lot different conversations with that professional of 25 years who's there to learn still than those two high school kids who are maybe super talented and have a great understanding, but guess what? They don't have 25 years of seeing things change, wisdom. But they can read it, but they can experience it, but they can have breakthroughs like they've read about within the same field, because it's still the same subject, it's the same behaviors, it's the same judgments, it's the same giving. But because I'm the one giving and receiving, I gotta realize that as the high school kid, I got 25 years to where I can learn more and still know that I want to learn more. And then as the 25-year professional, they can look back and say, wow, look how talented these young kids are. I got to keep going. By having the right balance, it helps people create the right judgments. And this is the idea of being able to recall this information from your mind and putting boundaries on the things that you want part you. This is me giving that young person time and conversation to the point to where I tried 3 times and they're not really listening. They're judging, they're perceiving. I'm seeing that happen because I've been doing it. So I showed him how to segue out of conversations with you. I deliberately left him out like a kid. And I went to show him when you have an adult, mature conversation, then you have to have an exchange. And I went to another person who was my senior, but we spoke as if, again, he was the youth. I spoke to him the same way, and he was able to report, which drew in another person, and then that drew in another person. And so hopefully that young kid saw how when you have proper respect at the frequency level, meaning I'm not going to give you more than what I've given you now, and you don't know that, but you better value that. That's the same shit that he's there to learn, but I exude it because I've been doing it for a long ass time. I'm just in this environment now. So all the things that you are striving for, I got it. I teach it. I've been teaching it. I've been writing about it. Those things you can't take from me, they're personal. I got boundaries on these things, just like when I talk to people online. Sometimes in the comment sections, people just tell me no. And it's so funny because I've lived a life that just proves it. So for me, I'm not going to argue certain things. I'm going to argue things that they don't even consider, which shows and proves because they get stuck in loops. And then for me, I'm just progressing. That is people wanting more from you, people wanting less from you, but you knowing what you're capable of doing, because for me, it's not just about me and you, it's about the memory, the ocean, not the top of the ocean or the bottom. It's about the pair, not the left shoe, not the right shoe, but both. Not the black people in the society, not the white people in society, or all the colors in between. It's all. So, even when you got a multitude of things in the world, you gotta realize that there's still always a complementary opposite. This is what we call opposite angles. And the only reason why we can see that is because we got something that never changes. In the world, you got these fixed points. Those fixed points are these four pentacles here. Those are the pillars for you. Those are the base to the table that you sit on for the four rods. These are the things that we need to understand. So, this is the energy. Let's see what our final messages are. And then we'll get out of here. It's been like 20 minutes. All right. Okay. This is drastically important here. You giving to people brings you nostalgia. So me giving to people at the mixer brought me nostalgia. You having thoughts and emotions that pop up from the past. I talked about this yesterday and I'm glad it's popping up again. This is us giving. We realized that in the past it was us giving the flowers to everything that was around us. It was us doing it. This is God doing it for us, but this is us doing it for everybody else. And these are those four pentacles. Those four pentacles, in this case they're four of cups, are the same four right here. Those four things sit on top, but then you can put the four of rods into them all. The reason why I'm describing it this way is because you really got to understand the differences between how things layer and stack up. These are the present moments of life. When you were 2 years old versus 3 versus 4 versus 5, sometimes you have present moments, sometimes you don't. Whether there's good or bad, you just have really clear memories. And then sometimes you don't even have a clue about a whole age of you. Damn, I don't even remember what it feels like to be 6. You just don't have anything. It's like it's been wiped clean. No, it hasn't been wiped clean. They just been stored away. And because it's stored and you don't give it any attention, it's going to go away. But the feelings won't. The feelings won't. And this is the importance of knowing how to change how you perceive the feelings around you, which means you trust your feelings. So when things like mixing up with people happen up and then you meet great people who can rap and hold conversations, who are going to be great, and you just hope that they're not in practice. And then there's other people who need a lot more practice and they need a lot more time to become wise. The Queen of Swords is open to both. And that's the beautiful thing. The Queen of Swords, to me, more closely matches the Queen of Cups. Again, her counterpart, the Queen of Cups or Swords, her counterpart, believe it or not, That is the King of Cups. The Queen of Swords counterpart is the King of Cups for me because the King of Cups can give her a little bit and keep enough for themselves. So there's always a place where this person is like not able to get to unless there's an emotional exchange. Because that King of Cups will share an exchange. She with enough emotion, or as much emotion as that person can give. But when a King of Cups doesn't have enough emotions to give to you, they hide the rest of their emotions and they give you some logic or some actions, or some practicality. Logic and actions are practicality in and of themselves. But anyways, that's what allows the Queen of Swords to even have her hand open and up. It's up and open. You got to see both of those gestures. That means come. Like that can be a hug. That imagine like somebody holding a firearm, right, and saying, "Come on, I got you." That's a very very safe position. But a lot of people want to say, "Oh, she'll cut your head off," things like that. What she's doing is she's severing, okay? She's severing with words the things that will take this here. She knows that these things in the front aren't never going to be changed. She knows how she feels about the shit that she did in the past. I don't care if you're stupid and you don't want to ask questions about me to where you would understand. Oh, I'm gonna bring it up, let you know I'm this, I've done that, bro, and you should either like try to communicate better, or I'm gonna phase you out. And he got phased out. And then further along, when somebody was actually given to me, it was crazy. But again, the person who invited me there was like the main guy. Then I got brought to a computer, to meet another person. And then, you know, turn around and I'm talking with another guy and, I met him and maybe I rubbed him the wrong way, but I told him like straight up, I'm not very good with names. You know, I need to have like a name badge on here or something. And, I'm being open and honest. I'm receptive, right? But then maybe hearing me, maybe seeing how people are treating me, maybe just, I don't know. It was just like you can see he was gritting his teeth, like he was being very jealous. But the thing is, there's no questions asked. No questions asked. So because he didn't ask any questions, he didn't get any information, but I'm open to it. I'm open to it. And I'm open to feeling an exchange in the past. I'm open to be the one giving to this person. But guess what? Because I have this information from the past, I know what I'm not going to give. I know what you ain't going to get, and I definitely know you ain't going to touch this. So like it's allowing us to really protect ourselves because we've already cast judgment, and all of this is stemming from us being able to know what we're going to be giving to people and how we're balancing that give. I have all six of these pentacles and people can see them. I got all six of these cups and people can see them. I can interact with any kind of body, any which way, in these six forms, these six frequencies. I can do it. But guess what? They know I'm only sharing two. I got six pizzas, but I only got two to share. Guess what? In this, I only got two to share as well, but I can only give you one. God is going to have to channel it through me for the other. It's a higher power, man. That's why it's a cup above the rest. So you can give what I humanly can give and what you can exchange back to me, or you can get something higher. That's the same ideal here. I only gave you some change over here, but maybe I didn't give you anything. Maybe this person needs to give to you. Maybe this person deserves it. Maybe you were just yelling at somebody and I didn't like that, so I gave to this person instead. This is the idea of knowing what to do with what you're doing. But this is the idea of cycles repeating. That's the only way you can know. when you do your classwork and you take notes and you hear it for the first time, it's the first time. And then you do your guided practice or your walkthrough examples. And then you do your guided practice. And then you do your independent practice. Then you do your homework. And then you do your quiz. And then you take your assessment. And then you got to remember, and then you got to build, and then you got to apply, and then you got to remember again when you learned a whole new subject and had to forget. There's a lot to go to learning, but because it comes back over and over and over and repeats itself, this is what's tempering us to know what we can give to or not. But we got to realize that we're also getting better, which means we can still give less because we're more efficient, we're more effective. It's not always about, needing to do extra to get better. Sometimes we're better and we can do less. This is the idea of like manifestation and like attracting things. If I think that I'm worth, $500 a day, guess what? That I have to like sit in that energy, so I might not even be able to work. But it's allowing these cycles to pop up for when you have the fear, when you have the doubt, when you have all of the sensations that pop up from the previous present moments. But then you got the mindset to say, woo, it is scary waiting for the money to come in, hoping for the money, but I know what I can do. And if I can't do anything, I still know what I can do. I know how to be patient in between the rest states. This is like knowing when you have to, toot your horn at the right time. This is a symphony. This is an orchestra. This is a band. I got to do my own thing, but then I got to know how to do my own thing in relation to everybody else. And that might look like the opposite. Don't do nothing. Everybody else is going. Everybody else stop. Let him solo. But the crowd don't stop. So guess what? There's still something that can be exchanged. Oh, the solo artists don't stop with the feelings and the thoughts and the desires. So even in the people, there is this pair. The point of this is to understand that when you're casting judgment, there's a third thing between the pair. There's always a baby. There's always something birthed from it. It's an exit, always a residue, right? But then the residue can grow and bloom into something new, and that's the idea. It's a redo, redesire of the actions of the past, but it's a combination and from a new point of view. So, yes, you're still going to be giving. Yes, I'm still going to go give to people who, are in an environment where it is kind of like, oh, these people might be jealous of me because of how other people see me or treat me. Or they might be judging me. Whatever might be going on. They don't really understand that I'm willing to give as much as I need to and as much as I want to. So guess what? That's the same thing with you. Be willing enough to have the boundary. Be willing enough to stop playing so then that solo artist can go and do their thing. Hell yeah, this is beautiful. Woo, getting down. Oh, I'm clapping in the middle of a song that I'm playing. What in the world? Yeah, man. It's the flutes solo now. Everybody doing their thing. Who got a flute? And now the drums go come in. And then everybody in. You got to start to blend in these present moments. It's still because we're riding across a tempo of time. This tempo, right, is life. But in life, you're changing. Just like in the music, the song, it's changing. But it's changing based upon what you're giving or what you're not. And it's been balanced upon what you're doing versus what you're not doing. And then it's also balanced by who is seeing and who not seeing. All of these things matter because you can do all of those things for yourself in the past. So if you are open to yourself of the past, then you can be open to the repeating cycles of the present moment. But that allows you to be open with yourself, which allows you to do what? Change your mind, get a new point of view, change the old, and accept what you do. So, all right, people, I appreciate y'all. Yeah, yeah. Look at that. Ooh, ooh. Oh, go check out the books. Soul Spark Tarot. Oh, go check. Man, all right, I'm out of here. Peace.